Hello, everyone. My name is Obaseki, reporting from Toronto, Canada. Today, we are here to remember Ambrose Ali. In the studio with me today is Ambassador Matthew Biki Uwaifu, all the way from Kenya. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear you. It's a pleasure to be here.
okay, sir. Thank you for joining us today as we remember Professor Ambrose Ali. Posthumously, the life and death of a visionary leader, the former Bede State Governor, Professor Ambrose Folorunshor Ali. And today we're going to be comparing the policies of Governor Obaseki with Ambrose Ali. Before we do that, I'm going to play a brief biography of Ambrose Ali. Then we'll come back, me and Ambassador Wifo, to do the analysis and also compare the policies of Governor Obaseki with Ambrose Ali.
After the military government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari took over power, Professor Ambrose Ali was sentenced to 100 years in prison in 1984 by a military tribunal for alleged misappropriation of 983,000 naira in funds for a road project. The sentence was later reviewed and reduced to 7 years. During this period, his health deteriorated while in jail.
Ambrose Folorunshor Ali was a Nigerian medical professor who served as executive governor of the defunct Nigerian state of Bendel, now the Nigerian state of Edo and Delta, between 1979 and 1983. He was the first civilian governor. Ambrose Folorunshor Ali was born in Indorani, Ondo State on 22nd September 1929. In his childhood, he moved between Oka Odo, Ekpoma, Owo, Efun-Alaye, Benin City, and Asaba, where he completed his secondary education in 1948. He attended the School of Agriculture, Ibadan 1948, and the School of Medical Technology at Adeoyo Hospital, Ibadan 1953 to 1960, where he gained an MBBS. He served as a house office at the Adeoyo Hospital from 1960 to 1961. He went to the United Kingdom for a postgraduate course in neuropathology at the University of London 1961 to 1966, gaining a DC pathology degree. Later, he studied at the University of Birmingham from 1971 to 1974. Ambrose Ali was a lecturer at the University of Ibadan 1966 to 1969 and was a senior lecturer at the Hamadu Bello University, Zaria 1969 to 1974. From 1974 to 1979, Ali was professor of morbid anatomy and head of the Department of Pathology at the University of Benin, Benin City. Ambrose Ali's political career. Following his academic post, he was elected the governor of Bendel State and later founded Bendel State University, which is now the Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma. Many campuses in Ekpoma, Abraka, and Asaba were established during his tenure. However, the creation of Delta State by the administration of General Babangida, the university became two universities, namely Delta State University Abraka and Ambrose Ali University Ekpoma. Posthumously named after him, Ambrose Ali. Ambrose Ali was a member of the Constituency Assembly that drafted the 1978, which was named after him. Ambrose Ali was a member of the Constituent Assembly that drafted the 1978 Nigerian Constitution. He joined the Unity Party of Nigeria and ran successfully as UPN candidate in the Bendel State governorship election of 1979. He brought massive developments to Bendel in different sectors, from the establishment of numerous post-primary schools and tertiary institutions, and massive construction of roads and housing. His main thrust as governor was to increase educational opportunities. He established over 600 new secondary schools and abolished secondary school fees. Apart from the establishment of the university, he also established various colleges of education in Ekiadolo near Benin City, Agbo, Warri, Ozoro, and Agbo, and 3 polytechnics with a college of agriculture and fishery proposed for Aganebode. He also established 4 teacher trainee colleges to supply staff to the new schools as well as several other higher educational institutions. In 1981, he laid the foundation of the Bender State University, which is now named after him, Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma. Other reforms by Ali included abolishing charges for services and drugs at state-owned hospital and eliminating the flat rate tax. His administration carried out massive construction of roads to open up the rural areas. In the housing sector, he built low-cost housing estates in Ugbowo, Ikoba Hill in Benin City, and Bender Estates in Warri. As governor, he always wore sandals, joking that he was so busy working in the government house that he never had time to buy shoes for himself. Ambrose Ali, in his later life, when he left office in 1983, he retired to his family house after the military government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari took power. He was sentenced to 100 years in prison by a military tribunal for allegedly misappropriating 983,000 naira in funds for a road project. He was later freed when the Esamar of Benin, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, paid a fine to the government. He finally got released from the prison after the fine amount of 1 million naira was remitted by Chief Igbinedion. After the release, he was hosted by Sir Chief Dr. Ezekiel A. Ainebe, Local Government Council Ekpoma, honored Professor Ali by launching his statues. Professor Ali sacrificed his life for the people of Nigeria. In order to pay respect and for the service rendered to the community, Dr. Ezekiel A. Ainebe erected a statue at the market square in Egware, Ekpoma. Unfortunately, shortly after being released from prison, Ambrose Folorunsho Ali died on his 60th birthday on the 22nd September 1989 at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. An annual Distinguished Leadership Lecture was later established in his honor.
Okay, so I played the video of the biography of Ambrose Ali. He established the Ambrose Ali University at Ekpoma.
The thing is this, Ambrose Ali, Professor Ambrose Ali, how he became governor of then Bender State. He was a member of the Action Group during the fight for independence and the creation of Midwest State. He was in Action Group. Then he went overseas as a student and came back. And I still remember during the primaries with in UPN, because he belonged to UPN of Awolowo, Unity Party of Nigeria, as at that time. So he ran in a primary, and himself and Iyare, the late Iyare, both of them had the same number of votes. And it was incumbent now on Awolowo to cast the vote as the head of the party. So Awolowo cast the vote for Ali, and Ali became the representative of UPN. And because of the promise of free education, the whole state voted for UPN as at that time. And Bender State became a UPN state. Now, in 1991 or 1991-92, Bender State now was carved into 2, comprising Delta and Edo State. So Ambrose Ali left a good legacy, because during that time, education was free. Both primary education, secondary education was free as at
Free.
that time, and he's
Yeah.
the only one that has done it because that was his promise. So he kept that campaign promise and made education free for everybody. There were even people crossing from the Niger Bridge those days just to come and attend school in Bender State because it was free. And his free education entails giving books, exercise books, reading books to the students, you know. So that was one of Ali's main legacy. And I don't know if you want me to compare it with Obaseki right now.
Yeah, we have to compare
You
the
see,
legacy.
so if I take
Mm,
if I take if I take the legacy Ali left, one of them, because he left so many, but the first one is this
education.
universal primary education, free primary education.
Mm,
You see, UPE, free primary UPE. That's what they used to call it those days, universal primary education. So it was free. And if we compare that now to what Obaseki has done with Edo Best,
mm,
during Ali's time, a lot of children, because it was free, came to school. They were in school, public school, and there were no private school were very uh, very private school were very
let's,
private schools were very few those days.
yes.
So,
If
and
there's
but
any,
what happened? Yes,
yes.
what happened during Ali's time? Some students even had to. The population was so much that there were not enough classrooms, and some students, when the program started, had to be doing classes under the trees. But within 4 years, he was able to build primary schools that at the end of his term, in 4 years before the military took over, there was nobody again learning under the trees. All of them were housed in classrooms. So that was a phenomenal thing because he ended up building over 1,000 primary schools as at that time, and within 4 years. So comparing him to Obaseki for his basic education, for his Edo Best, the difference is during Oshomole's time there was the
Yes.
red roof phenomenon. Schools were being built, but they were not being equipped. So what Obaseki has done is to reduce the cost of education in public school, equip the schools, and then train teachers. Ali those days equally trained teachers, you know, in his program. So Obaseki has trained teachers, and then what Obaseki has done further is to digitize the whole system. The teachers have tablets now where they put their schoolwork, and when a kid is just spent 6 months in primary one, he already knows how to read, write, and write his name. So the two and the Obaseki right now per year you only need $40 or 14,000 naira to train your child from school, which is very very cheap a year. So
So he
that is
reduced.
the whole system. Yes,
The public
he
school
reduced it.
is free. The
Mm,
public school is free in Edo State. That's what they told
no,
me.
no, no. Whoever told you that is wrong. With all this digitization now, the cost of training every child in Edo State right now has been compounded. The cost has been compounded to $40. That is what it cost the state. So what Obaseki has done is that just like Ali,
Mm,
the state is paying that money. But in Ali's own, we didn't know the cost because a lot of people flooded to school. A lot of people were not going to school. But with Obaseki, what it cost the state government to
Okay, yes.
train every child. That's
Child.
what I mean.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
it's about $40 a year.
Okay.
That's what it costs the state government to train every child.
Child.
Yes, in primary school. Yes, yeah,
During the COVID-19, according to what I was told, that they were teaching them through online, giving them tablets,
Ye-
devices
yes.
that help them. Yeah. So that is
That
another,
was
yeah.
yes. That's the truth. That's how the students were at home, but they were able to follow their various teachers through online learning.
Yes.
So they were being taught online. Now, that is about education. Another legacy Ali left was agriculture. During Ali's time, a lot of money was given to the local farmers, and Edo State became a food basket because a lot of rice was produced in Ekpoma area. Afuze, Agenibode produced a lot of rice, which the government gave fertilizers for, free fertilizers to the farmers as at that time. So they produced a lot of maize and a lot of rice. So the grains became so much that Professor Ali built those silos. If you are going from Benin to Auchi and you get to Ekpoma, outside Ekpoma, just before you reach Uromi side, you will see those silos. They are still there up to today. You will see them. Those were silos to store the extra grains that were left after sales, because the grains became so much, the price was low, people had enough of it in the market, that the state government had to store the rest,
Hmm.
and that was what those silos were built for. The same thing now in Obaseki's regime. Obaseki has invested heavily in agriculture, giving a lot of loans to farmers. I was telling somebody today, when I went to Edo State last time, I was shocked to see that the Libya returnees were resettled in a farm settlement, about 500 of them. Each one had his own fish pond where they were, raising fish, and the same thing during Ali's time. Agriculture was very paramount, and that is why Governor Obaseki keeps saying that Edo State can be the breadbasket of the nation.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think he has the rice farm in was it not Agani Bode? The other one
Yes,
is
Agenibode area right now, the Edo State government have they went and renovated, because all those farms, they were built, the buildings there were built by Ali, but they were dilapidated, nobody was using them. So Obaseki went back, renovated them, gave them a new lease of life, added some other buildings there to house the staff, and then the market. I think last year was a bumper harvest in those rice farms, you know, and there are also fish uh, fish ponds. Yes.
yeah. So
So though, in that, both of them are alike. Then civil service. During Ali's time, the civil servants were paid on time, and the teachers were trained, and pensioners got their money without making lines and falling in line. Teachers were paid on time. Bende State didn't owe any teacher.
hmm,
So,
just like
so the
what
policies,
Just like what
yes,
Governor Obaseki is doing
Governor
right now.
Obaseki is doing, yes. So their policies are synonymous. That is it. They are synonymous.
That's
Yes,
it.
ma.